Hi traders, happy Friday to you. This is a daily forecast on euro dollar. Today is October 15. This video is brought to you by Finteria Markets. Please check our website for more information about our company. You will find lots of interesting tools for your analysis, including widgets and some different tools that really help you to understand what is happening in the market, as well as you will find educational materials, articles, and online courses, and all the information about trading conditions. We offer one of the best spreads in the market, and our spread on Eurodollar is below 0.1 pip most of the time. So let's start our analysis. I'm going to start with FX risk aversion. This is a widget that is available on the website, and it actually shows you the current sentiment in the market if we have risk aversion or we have risk appetite. So right now you see the value is really low. It means that the market tends to buy really risky assets, and risky currencies tend to perform much better. Also, I wanted to show you quickly how the markets perform right now. So let's review some of the stock indices. Here I have the CFD on S&P, and yesterday we had a clear breakout of the trend line. So we're finally moving much higher. We have pretty much same situation on Nasdaq, as well on the European indices. For example, here I have the CFD for FTSE 100. This is DAX, which is also moving much higher. So in general, there is a broad-based risk on sentiment across the market. This is really positive. Another way how I look at the risk on sentiments, I usually have here the spread between gold and copper. So it's actually the ratio between copper and gold. So as you can see, it's also moving much higher. So this is pretty positive for the markets, and this should actually support risky currencies, but should also create a lot of pressure on safe haven currencies. And just to remind you, safe haven currencies are the Japanese yen, the US dollar, and the Swiss franc. So finally, let's get back to the website. And now I'm gonna start as usually with winners and losers. So this is my favorite tool, which shows you the strongest and the weakest currencies. I'm going to use the second widget, which shows you the information graphically, so it's much easier to compare. So we have 8 currencies right here, and each currency is an index against a basket of currencies. So by analyzing one currency against the basket, we can see clear tendencies and clear trends on this particular currency. So here we have all 8 currencies with corresponding colors. So for example, the Canadian dollar has a black color. I decided that it's going to be the best color for this currency because it's related with oil. So the green box, of course, is green, so you can see it on the chart. So let's analyze the situation. Over the last 24 hours, we can see that the Japanese yen was the weakest currency. You can see the red line on the chart. It fell by 0.63%. The US dollar, the green line, which is highlighted right now, fell approximately 0.27%. Another safe haven currency fell 0.23%. It's the Swiss franc. So you see all 3 currencies, all 3 safe haven currencies, they fell in relation to the market. So at the same time, risky currencies are gaining some ground. The New Zealand dollar gained 0.86%. So this is a pretty strong movement for one day. It's almost 1%. It's very impressive. And the Canadian dollar grew 0.3%, Australian dollar 0.2%. European currencies were actually quite weak. They had a very similar tendency. They didn't perform well yesterday in relation to the market. So right now, if we look at the particular situation of euro dollar, we can see that euro has performed not really that great in the beginning of the day, but then it remained stable since the half of yesterday. Speaking of the US dollar, it had really different phases. It really fell strongly in the beginning of the European session yesterday. but then it actually could hold its line, and actually it stayed pretty stable. We had some rebound when the news came out in the US. There were actually very good numbers for the jobless claims. So, but overall, the US dollar remains quite weak. I think the weak narrative still remains in the focus of the markets. And especially that right now we have some risk on in the markets. This can also create some pressure on the US dollar. So finally, let's move to the charts and analyze the technical situation. Here I have the daily chart on euro dollar. Here we have this blue triangle, and we are stuck in between. There are two levels. There is a level of the daily triangle, the blue line. The current level is around 116.70, 116.60. Another level which is really important is 115. This is the pandemic level from March 2020. So I mentioned this before. I expect the currency to remain between those two ranges for some substantial period of time, probably for months or even more. So I think we are currently in the correction phase. We see it clearly also on the daily chart. Here, there's a green line that describes the overall appreciation trend of the US dollar. So we're gradually approaching some important key technical levels. In my opinion, we need more depth to consider selling euro dollar. In my opinion, if we move to the level 116.60 or 116.70, we would have a substantially good level for considering any shorts. But so far, we're in the correction phase. I think tactical longs are more preferable. So right now we see that the narrative is not really supportive for the US dollar. So probably this currency pair may continue drifting slightly higher. At the same time, I showed you before that the euro is not really performing that well at the moment. So that's why we also see a very mixed situation. Like if you will check the situation on New Zealand dollar versus the US dollar, you see that here we have much stronger trend at the moment. So trading on this currency pair going long would be more favorable. But anyway, let's return back to the euro dollar. Here, I would like to highlight key technical levels for today. So I'm going to just draw them so that you can see it clearly. So in my opinion, the technical levels would look something like this. In my opinion, we are in between 116.30 and below there's a level 115.90 approximately. So here, in my opinion, you saw that there was really strong resistance right here. This level, which is 115.80, we touched this level multiple times. So it was not that easy to break this level, but when we broke it, there was a really strong movement. And then we approached this level once again. So in my opinion, this level is going to be pretty important for trading. In case if we return below this level, I think maybe in this situation, we can really start considering shorts in this area. But as long as we're above this line and as long as we're moving higher, I think that there's more potential that euro dollar will slowly drift higher. So my basic scenario would actually look like this. We would probably approach 116.40 in my opinion. So potentially if we approached 116.60, I think these levels can be quite good to consider short positions, that they should be really technical and quick with really tight stop losses and tight take profits. So that would be the basic scenarios that I would expect. The currency moving much higher, but also not trending that much, with a lot of reversals, with a lot of doubt, with a lot of drifting. So in my opinion, we should see that the currency pair is gradually remaining within those key important technical levels, but gradually moving higher. And I think once we approach the level 116.60, we can see if we have any potential. For example, if we approach really sharply with a strong impulse I wouldn't recommend to consider any shorts. But in case if we're moving gradually, so let me try to describe how this potentially can look like. So if the tendency is really sharp like this, in my opinion, we should not consider any shorts from this level. However, if we're drifting slowly to this level, I think probably this can be a good level to consider short positions. So basically, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this analysis. So give me, please, your thumb ups. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We publish lots of interesting videos that help you to make analysis, understand what's happening in the market, and make sense of all the noise that you see in the markets. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you a nice day.